Today we're going to look at bad Magic the Gathering combos that actually work. Okay, this one comes from the user Too Rare to Die 26. It's a pretty sick combo. Alright, we got our Consecrated Sphinx, right? 6 mana, 4/6, it's a Sphinx, it's got flying, and whenever an opponent draws a card, you may draw 2 cards. You might say that is actually broken. In very casual Commander. I cannot guarantee in competitive Commander this is even playable even remotely. A curse is just another name for an unwanted blessing. Now, how are we going to combo off with this? Well, we got the Notion Thief. It is a black-blue 2 generic 3/1 human rogue. With Flash, if an opponent would draw a card, except the first one they would draw in each of their draw steps, instead, that player skips the draw and you draw a card. So, and here's the final piece of the puzzle. We're going to donate the Notion Thief. Donate is a card, blue 2 generic. Target player gains control of target permanent you control. We're giving them the Notion Thief, which means every single time we would draw a card off of Consecrated Sphinx, we don't. They're going to draw a card off of their Notion Thief. Every single time that they draw a card, we can draw up to 2 cards. We're going to attempt to. We're going to fail. But you know what's not going to fail? They're going to draw cards. Instead, that they skip and you draw a card. You have no chance. You have no, you must go to go. You must collect the $200. No going to jail. You want more money? You want another card after that? Take another card. That's right. You know what? I think I'll draw. Maybe you'd like to draw another card as well. And then eventually they draw their entire deck to death. And then that's it. And then it's GG for them. I think that's a really cool combo. It's very original, never heard of it. Alright, next up, let's go with Toads. Ruxa. I don't even know who Ruxa is. Ruxa and Gigantosaurus. This thing? Alright, what is Ruxa? The Patient Professor. It's a 4 mana, 4/4 Bear Druid. And also whenever Ruxa, Patient Professor, enters the battlefield or attacks, return target creature card with no abilities from your graveyard to your hand. Oh! What cards have no abilities? Just big attack, big butt! Could be the Gigantosaurus. Creatures you control with no abilities get +1/+1. Now you're even bigger! You thought you were a 10/10, now you're an 11/11. Okay, where else does this go? You may have creatures you control with no abilities assign their combat damage as though they weren't blocked. Sure. Okay, so you attack with this thing. No matter how they block, they're getting absolutely smacked for 11 damage. Actually, pretty wild. And then you can regurgitate this thing over and over again. Very loose on the combo, a little high on the synergy, but you know what? I like it. It's very cute, actually. Okay, Unstoppable Rob. The entire KCI system looks so janky, yet it got banned. It's very true. But that is not much of a combo that I can put on the screen. So we'll go with King Ginger. First day of class. Everyone remembers their first day of class. Or actually, do you? It always makes you feel really nervous. Then the next day is not so bad. Murderous Red Cap. Oh, that's a name I haven't heard in many years. And then Ash. Of course, Ashnod's Altar. What is a show without Ashnod's Altar? How does any of this work? First day of class, we have a 2 mana instant. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and it gains haste until end of turn. You also get to learn. You may reveal a lesson card you own from outside the game, put into your hand, or discard a card to draw a card. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on. Okay, so the idea, I think, is... Oh, so is it perpetual? Whenever a creature... Oh, it is! Okay, so whenever any number of creatures enter the battlefield, they get a counter. Now, Murderous Red Cap is a 2/2 for 4 mana. When it enters the battlefield, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. But it has Persist, so when it dies, it gets to come back. But it comes into play with a -1/-1 counter. So the deal is, you have infinite damage. And also infinite mana with the Ashnod's Altar. Because you can sack the I don't even know what you're going to do with the mana. It's actually probably pointless. So you can sack the Murderous Red Cap to your Ashnod's Altar. Comes into play with It doesn't even come into play with anything. Because how the rules work. If there's an effect that says you get a +1/+1 counter, and there's a -1/-1 counter on it, then they just sort of equalize. You know, it's like there's nothing there. They cancel each other out. So the Murderous Red Cap simply comes back into play as nothing, Well, not nothing. It's going to come in play as its ability, but with no -1/-1 counter, and you can keep sacking it to the Ashnod's altar until your opponent has been killed to death. That's if you see first day of class and then Murderous Redcap, it danger. It absolutely a danger. All right, our first super chat of the day we've got can't even fly. Spy Kit. Tower Worker, and Voltaic Construct. That's just great. A million cards I've never heard of. Spy Kit gives one of your creatures all the names required for Tower Worker to tap for 3, and it's 2 to untap. Alright, let's take a look at it. Spy Kit is a 2-mana equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has all names of non-legendary creature cards in addition to its name. You can also equip for 2. You are every name! You're an imposter, really. Okay, Tower Worker, 3-mana, 1/3, artifact creature, assembly worker with reach. Tapped, add a colorless. But if you control creatures named Mine Worker, Power Plant Worker, add 3 colorless instead. Oh, okay, so with the Spy Kit, we get to add 3 colorless with the Tower Worker. And then with the 3 colorless, we can spend 2 from the Voltaic Construct to untap the Tower Worker, giving us infinite mana. Good luck with the rest of it. You got to fill in the blanks there. Okay, next up we've got Roll and Rate. Drain Power. Stony Silence. Since when is that ever like a combo card? Usually it's a prison card. Donate. And then art plus artifact land. All right, let's use Ancient Den. The most ancient of dens. So it doesn't really work according to the rules. Well, then why are you giving it to us? But I used to lock up the game on Magic the Gathering Online and force your opponent to concede or time out. So hold on, what is the deal then? Okay, so it's Drain Power. Targeted player activates a mana ability of each land they control, then empties their mana pool. Add mana to your mana pool equal to the type and amount emptied. So like you try to force your opponent to add mana, but they can't because there's Stony Silence. Cannot add the mana from the Ancient Den? Interesting. Are there any videos of that? I'd be interested. I'd be interested in those silly Magic the Gathering Online glitches. Alright, next super chat we got from Rated Lex. Sprout Swarm, Intruder Alarm, and oh, is that it? Sprout Swarm, Intruder Alarm. Is this really just a 2-card combo? For infinite Saprolings. So how this works is Intruder Alarm is a 3-mana enchantment. Creatures don't untap normally, but when a creature comes into play, we untap all the creatures. And Sprout Swarm, oh, we've seen this combo before. It's 2 mana with Convoke, but with Buyback. So there is a point where if you have enough of these saplings on the battlefield, you need 5. Once you have 5 on the battlefield, I think you go infinite? Yeah, you go infinite because you'll pay 2 with the buyback of 3. You're just going to convoke it in play. You'll put a sapling in play and you'll untap the other 5 that you have so you can just make infinite saplings. That's right. Okay, Nate, what do you got for us? Heartless Hidetsugo. Dictate of the Twin Gods. And then oh, I didn't get this one. Of the Twin. And Fortune Thief. Alright, we got Fortune Thief. 5 mana, 0/1, human rogue. Damage that would reduce your life to less than 1. Reduces it to 1 instead. Isn't this an Alley of Cairo card? Like, this is literally a reserve list card just for 1 more mana. And it's 27 cents. That just goes to show how much the reserve list or collectability pushes the prices of these cards. Okay, so that's cool. Dictate of Twin Gods, 5 mana enchantment. Flash. If a source would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage to that permanent or player instead. Double the damage! But we gotta make sure our life total... Okay, I guess the deal is we don't care how much damage we take, because it's always gonna go to 1 anyway. And then the last card is Heartless Hidetsugu. Is a 5 mana 4/3 ogre. Tap Heartless Hidetsugu deals damage to each player equal to half that player's life total rounded down. To each player! Alright! So, we're going to double that damage. So we're going to deal, not only, you're going to take half your life, and then you're going to take absolute double. But except we're going to live. So each player, including us, but we're going to stay at 1 for the grand victory of the entire game. Hidetsuko has done it once again. Greeting, Mr. Deadhead. You're talking like you've never been here before. You're here like every single day. But greetings anyway. Okay, Will Anderson with Ayara. Am I spelling this one? Okay, First of the Lothwain and Plague of Vermin. Okay, Plague of Vermin, black 6 generic sorcery. Starting with you, each player may pay any amount of life. Repeat this process until no one pays life. Each player puts a 1/1 black rat creature token into play for each 1 life they paid this way. So it's like, I'm going to pay 1 mana. No, I'm going to pay 2 mana. I'm going to pay 3 mana, 4 mana, 5, 6. All right, 20, 25. And then we get rats equal to the number of life paid this way. What a weird auction. All right, where does this go? Ayara, First of Lothwain, is a 3 mana 2/3 elf noble. Whenever Ayara or another black creature enters the battlefield and you control, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Oh, so you could just pay your entire 39 life. Just make sure you don't get lightning bolted in response. That's possible. Remember, this is an ETB trigger. So you could like pay 39 life. I get 39 rats. In response to Ayara's ability, I have an ability on the stack. Lightning bolt you for the win. And then all of a sudden, you realize the mistakes you've made. Yeah, like basically go to 1, then deal the other half of the damage. And then you can, and also Yara has tap, sacrifice another black creature to draw a card. You have so many creatures actually to draw cards. Okay, next, who has all some silly combos? Okay, we have Toads with Vampire Nighthawk. Not really the type of card I'm associating with combos these days. We also have Thornbite Staff. Tell me, Toads, how does this work? Machine gun their creatures. Nighthawk is a shaman. Really? Yeah, it's one of those creature types that you don't even think about. Anyway, it's a 3 mana 2/3 flying death touch lifelinker. Now, Thornbite Staff is a 2 mana. It's a shaman equipment. Equipped creature has pay 2, tap. This creature deals 1 damage to target creature or player. And whenever a creature is put into a graveyard from play, untap this creature. Whenever a shaman, this basic, yeah, it does machine gun the whole board. So the deal is, Vampire Nighthawk has Death Touch. The Death Touch means that even though it's not combat damage, any damage from this source kills it straight on the spot, and it's over. So you kill 1 creature, it dies. You untap your Vampire Nighthawk, and then everything else is going straight to the bin as well. For as long as you want to keep shooting things down. Jeff says, once you starting watching Yu-Gi-Oh, you really started to lean into the Yu-Gi-Oh speeches. You better believe it. Yu-Gi-Oh knows what they're doing. Yu-Gi-Oh knows what they're doing. Oh, you have no idea what I have planned for the future. I'm going to lean way harder into it. Way, way harder. Okay, Sam says, the dumbest one I can think of. Stuffy Doll and Star of Extinction. I don't know if that is a combo I heard of before. Oh, wait a minute. Star of Extinction. Okay, this is a 7 mana destroy target land. Star of Extinction deals 20 damage to each creature and each planeswalker. So, like, whoever you named with Stuffy Doll, it's an indestructible creature you name a player, and whenever it's dealt damage, it deals that much damage to the player. So imagine you are playing Star of Extinction on a random land, and then all of a sudden the player who's been named by the Stuffy Doll, they're just like, can anyone deal with this land? Can anyone destroy it in response? Anybody? We gotta deal. I'm gonna be dead here. Actually, in Commander, you'll only lose half your life, but you could finish them off easily. Anyway, that's a funny combo. I like that one. Pretty cute. Always a bigger fish. We got Brud Eclad, Telchor, whatever, Engineer, Irenicus, Vile Duplication. Clunky but powerful and can easily make an arena bug out. Really? Air 404. Arena, no work no more. Okay, 4 mana sorcery. Create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, except the token has flying. And it isn't legendary, if that creature was legendary. And we will be copying the legendary Barudaclad Telchor Engineer, because we're engineering an army of these things. Okay, it's a 6 mana 4/4 Artificer. Creature tokens you control have haste. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 2/1 blue mirror artifact creature token. Then you may choose a token you control. If you do, each other token you control becomes a copy of that token. Does it, does this like just go infinite or something? I don't know why it would. So at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 2/1 blue mirror artifact creature token. Then you may choose a token you control. If you do, each other token you control becomes... So you make some 2/1. So you have 2 of these, right? So you make a token, but it's not legendary. And then they become a copy of... So you can become a copy of the Brutaclad, is what you're telling me? But how does this go, like, for forever? Or does it just confuse it? Or it will multiply exponentially every combat? Yeah, but you need to go to another combat, right? You need to go to another combat. Because, like, combat's already triggered. At the beginning of combat, you can't go to a beginning of... You need, like, infinite turns, right? Yeah, it doesn't go infinite. It's just... Does it even exponentially copy? You make a bunch of non-legendary versions of Brutaclad. Beginning of combat, your turn, you create a 2/1. Like, the thing is, you make... It's the beginning of combat. It's not like an ETB trigger. It's just at the beginning of combat. So you make this 2/1 mirror that then becomes a copy of itself. And then that's it. And then you go to your attack. If I understand correctly. Not if you had a lot of tokens in play like treasures. Oh, if you're going to comment on your turn. Okay, creature tokens you control have haste. Your turn, create a 2/1 blue mirror artifact creature token. Then you may choose a token you control. If you do, each other token you control becomes a copy. But it's just a lot. I still don't see how this is infinite. Extra combat steps. But you need... These cards don't create extra combat steps. There's nothing extra here. You need OJER for it to work better. Turn every token into OJER, which triples your tokens. I have no idea what you're talking about. Went over my head. Okay, we're gonna move on. With Zeus's Archfiend of the Dross. And donate my favorite card to jank up the game. And render inert... Is it called render? Whoops, hold on. What did I do by accident? Okay, render inert? Is that what it's called? It is. Donate the dross, take off the counters, profit. I love profit. I'm all about the profit. Okay, Archfiend of Dross is a 4 mana 6/6 Phyrexian demon with flying. Enter the battlefield with 4 oil counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove an oil counter from Archfiend of the Dross. Then if it has no oil counters on it, you lose the game. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, the controller loses 2 life. Now, I believe that the most important thing is, at the beginning of your upkeep, remove an oil counter, and if you can't, you lose the game. So I guess we want to have 0 on this card. We're going to want to donate it. So what does Render Inert help this combo? It's a black 2 generic sorcery. Remove up to 5 counters from target permanent. Draw a card. That's cash money, and then all of a sudden, your opponent... And then when you... And then you gotta choose. You gotta choose someone who's gonna be gonna get targeted by this creature. You have to gift it. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Merry Christmas! I have for you an Archfiend of Dross. And also, in addition to that, I'm gonna remove all the counters. You said you like profit, so I'm gonna imagine Ferengi from Star Trek. Oh god. You know, I could never get into Deep Space Nine because I thought the Ferengi would look pretty damn ugly. I'm not a big Star Trek fanatic, but like, I just could never get into Deep Space Nine. Too deep space for me. Donate giving opponent Adanto Vanguard, then play Emrakul? What? Okay, hold on. So somehow, this is a real jank combo. Danto Vanguard, and then you want Emrakul, the Promised End. Oh, you're going... What? Okay, now I get it, what you're doing. Okay, we're donating Adanto Vanguard. Has the ability, pay 4 life. Adanto Vanguard gains indestructible until end of turn. Now, you need to hope that your opponent's life total is divisible by 4. Otherwise, this isn't gonna, it's not really going to work. Because if your opponent's at 2 life, then, well, you can't make them pay 4 life when they only have 2 life. But Emrakul says, when you cast Emrakul, you gain control of target opponent's next turn. So you're gonna take their next turn and then they gotta kill this Adanto Vanguard. I guess, I don't even know how... I guess in response to this trigger, they have to kill this thing quickly. Because then if you take their turn, you'll just like, okay, pay 4 life, pay 4 life, pay 4 life, pay 4 life. Attack this person for 1 million. Or no, it's attacking. No, it doesn't get bigger for every time you pay life. That's too bad. But yeah, wait, yeah, I like it. That is a bad combo that actually works. Alpha Nerd, thank you very much for your super chat. Dreams of the Dead. Angel of Despair. And the Esper deck? That's not a card, is it? No. Or is that some other card? Okay, is this a 2-card combo? Let's wait and see. Angel of Despair. 7 mana for a 5/5 angel. Enters the battlefield. Destroy target permanent. Dreams of the Dead, 4 mana enchantment, pay 2. Return target white or black creature card from your graveyard to play. Oh my goodness. The creature gains cumulative upkeep 2. If the creature would leave play, remove it from the game instead. There's battlefield, destroy target permanent. I don't see the combo. Outside of like, what, you just want to like destroy something, she dies, you get it back one more time to destroy one more thing one last time. I was desperate, says the Angel of Despair. Toads loves her hair. Well, it's your combo. Anyway, okay. We will move on to Dinglebag, Blade of the Blood Chief. Walking Ballista. Basilisk Collar? That's like a combo in itself. And so let's see how. Okay, so first off, this is actually this used to be a competitive combo, believe it or not. Basilisk Collar, which says equip creature has Death Touch and Lifelink, equip for 2, and you put on a Walking Ballista, which usually was pretty big. You know, you put on a 5/5 Walking Ballista, and you do I have a gunshot sound effect here? Not really. And you shoot things. You shoot it just one ping, it's dead, and that's it. I was very, very unhappy when the Walking Ballista and Basilisk Collar combo came out. Basically killed off all my creatures, and it didn't take much. So do we go infinite with the Blade of the Blood Chief? It's a 1-mana equipment. Whenever a creature dies, put a +1/+1 counter on equipped creature. Oh yeah, that goes infinite. Then if equipped creature is a vampire, put 2 counters on it. No, we only need 1. So for every single time we lose a counter from the Walking Ballista, we gain a counter. Because we keep killing things. Because that Walking Ballista is out for blood. All right, next super chat we got from John. Thank you very much for your super chat, John. Archfiend of Ifnir. A lot of Archfiends in this game. Living Plane. Any discard outlet. I can't even think of one. I don't know many discard outlets. What is a discard? What is something that makes you just discard cards? Mind over matter? That's the only thing I can come up with in my mind. Alright, so this is now a Sultai combo. Archfiend of Ifnir, 5 mana, 5/4. Whenever you cycle discard another card, oh, it could just be a cycle card, right? Put a -1/-1 counter on each creature your opponents control. And we have the Living Plane. All lands are 1/1 creatures that are still lands, and then you can use the Street Wraith. Here, we'll use Street Wraith, because this happened to me before. Street Wraith. Swamp Walk, but it has cycling of paying 2 life. So you basically turn everything your opponent, all the lands, into 1/1 creatures, then you kill them off with the Archfiend of Ifnir, and they're never coming back. Nope, they are not coming back, especially they'll feel the wrath of the Street Wraith, as far as I'm concerned. Was that a super chat? I don't think so. We go to Gunblade Knight. Sun Titan Food Chain. I like how you put in brackets. I like that notation. I can get behind that. Sun Titan Food Chain. Most infamous combo card of all time. And Kaya's Ghost Form. I like that notation. Gunblade Knight, you've invented something amazing. Okay, Kaya's Ghost Form. Black Aura. Enchanted creature or planeswalker you control. Enchanted permanent dies or is put into exile. Return that card to the battlefield under your control. But not with Kaya's Ghost Form. So, I guess the idea is Sun Titan. Oh! Sun Titan says, whenever Sun Titan enters the battlefield or attacks, you may return target permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. And Food Chain says, exile a creature, add X mana of any one color, where X is 1 plus the exiled creature's mana value. Spend this mana only to cast creature spells. You get, it's of any one color. Anything! Oh, any one color. So you get red, I guess. Or is it of the mana value? Because I don't know how many. I don't play with Food Chain. But the whole point is, okay, you're going to sack your Sun Titan after you've played Kaya's Ghost Form on it. Then when it comes back, it's going to say, well, I'm going to put the Kaya's Ghost Form back on the Sun Titan so I can sack it to Food Chain. And then when the Food Chain sacks Kaya's Ghost Form, says Sun Titan comes back to get the Kaya's Ghost Form. And you get infinite mana. Pretty cool. Putrid Imp is the best discarder. Well, there you got it. There we go. This is not Thassa's Oracle and Demonic Consultation. We need bad combos. This is a bad combo show, not a good combo show. You have to remind people sometimes. Only bad combos allowed. Hermoda, Urza's Armor. See, I don't even know what that card does, Urza's Armor. That's how bad it is, this combo. Pestilence. I just found out there's like a bad combo Reddit out there. So if anyone wants to learn more bad combos that actually works, there's like there's a Reddit. There's a Reddit for everyone, I guess. Add an indestructible creature. Yeah, I appreciate you people provide the indestructible creature. Okay, so what is it? We have Pestilence. End of turn, if there are no creatures in play, sack it. Pay a black. Deals 1 damage to each creature and each player. And with Urza's Armor, if a source would deal damage to you, prevent 1 of that damage. So the idea is you have indestructible creatures, you kill off all their stuff, you keep dealing damage to them, but the Urza's Armor makes sure that the Pestilence doesn't actually deal damage to you. That's how it works around here. Can't even fly. Forbidden Orchard. Life Spark Bomb. Intruder Alarm. You know what's funny? Intruder Alarm is literally in everyone's like commander deck, yet it's never won a tournament before. It's like tier 1 jank. Tier 1 jank. You have infinite mana at the cost of giving your opponent infinite creatures. Well, do you know what? Some prices have to be paid for greatness. And to some degree, some people believe that there is no cost too great for immortality. Okay, we add 1 mana of any color. Every time you tap Forbidden Orchard, you have to give your opponent a 1/1 colorless spirit creature token. We also have the Life Spark Spell Bomb. It's a 1 mana artifact. Pay a green? A little faded on the color over here. Pay a green, sacrifice Life Spark Spell Bomb. Until end of turn, target land becomes a 3/3 creature. That's still a land. Also, pay 1, sack it, draw a card. What else do we have here? Intruder Alarm. Creatures don't untap during their controller's untap steps. Whenever a creature comes into play, untap all creatures. Okay, so how does it... So, okay, the way it works is you're going to Life Spark Spell Bomb to turn your Forbidden Orchard into a 3/3. You've been upgraded, Forbidden Orchard. How do you feel about... How do you feel? You're getting stronger. The strong Forbidden Orchard. Now we make a 1/1 creature, comes into play under our opponent's control. We tap the Forbidden Orchard, but then Intruder Alarm says we get to untap all our creatures, which include the Intruder Alarm that is now a 3/3. And then we can tap, make infinite mana. At the cost of your opponent getting, like, infinite creatures, so you better kill them on the spot. Oh, bad combos? That's right, bad combos. Only the the worst. Send me your worst. Okay, hear that song. It is time to thank our sponsors today, FusionGamingOnline.com. What is the deal of the week this week? Save 20% off all TCG sealed product. Available only to people in Canada, but you know what's available to everyone internationally? Buying singles from the Lost Caverns of Ixalan, your Doctor Who singles, Wilds of Eldraine, and the entire history of Magic the Gathering. You know where to get them for your Commander, Pioneer, Standard, Modern, Legacy decks. whatever weird formats are out there, and you're going to want to use coupon code Nikachu at checkout, because when you do, you get 5% off all your purchases. And it supports the channel. I gotta throw that in there. Supports the channel, people. We're also gonna thank Mana Traders, the premier place for renting Magic cards online. You can buy your paper bad combos from Fusion, or you can experiment with digital garbage combos with Mana Traders. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 10% off your first 2 months using coupon code Nikachu_1JV. And now bad to insanely bad combos. Sam Hansen, Engulfing Slagworm and Lure. Lure, the most classic of old bad combos. 7 mana, 7/7. When it becomes blocked or whenever it blocks or becomes blocked by a creature, destroy that creature. You gain life equal to that creature's toughness. Oh, that's quite nice. How are we gonna force them to do that? We're gonna use the Lure. Lure is a green 1 generic aura enchant creature. All creatures able to block enchant creature do so. So they're all going to send them to their death. This is exactly a spot where you'd want to pay 0 to tap all your creatures. Only some people are going to get that reference, and especially not on the people in the replay. If you know, you know. Okay, next super chat. I'm going to give priority to the people who spend more money, but I will get to everybody. I promise I'm going to get to every super chat. I promise. Crowned Stag with the amplifier. Impervious Greatworm. And Gravitic Punch? Gravitic Punch. One Punch Man. Oh, you're trying to create your own One Punch Man artificially within Magic the Gathering. Okay, we got a red 3 generic sorcery. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target player. Isn't that normally what it does? But usually it just has to attack. It also has Jumpstart. You may cast this card from your graveyard by discarding a card in addition to paying its other costs. It's flashback. Why don't they just call it flashback? Impervious Greatworm. It is a 10 mana 16/16 with Convoke and Indestructible. Good luck dealing with that thing. And then we have the Amplifier, a 4 mana 1/1 elemental. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal cards on the top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Until your next turn, Amplifier's base power is twice that card's power, and its base toughness becomes twice that card's toughness. Put the revealed card on the bottom of your library in a random order. What? So, like, what are you just playing with, like, Amplifier, reveal the cards on the top of your library until you reveal a creature card? This is the most jank combo possible, because, like, you need to get lucky to get the Impervious Greatworm on top of your library, or lucky to get your 1 Amplifier in your hand. And then you want to just deal damage, like, what, twice? Smack them twice in the face! One for good luck, 1 to finish them off. I've gotten to Diamond with this. Are you serious on Arena? Wow, they just didn't see that coming now, did they? It's like your opponent, you play the Gravitic Punch and your opponents are very, very unhappy with what's going on in the game. Beautifully so terrible, I know. You're telling me. Okay, I'll do a few more freebies. Sam, Loyal Attendant, and then Ginger Brute, and Draconic Destiny from Adeline. All right, Adeline, we got the 3 mana aura, enchant creature. Enchant creature gets +1/+1. Has flying and haste, and pay 1. This creature has fire breathing. It's a dragon in addition to its other types. So it's basically cosplaying a dragon. Whenever enchanted creature dies, return Draconic Destiny to its owner's hand. We have Ginger Brute. Can't catch me, I'm the Gingerbread Man. A 1 mana 1/1 with haste. Can't be blocked this turn except by creatures with haste. Also pay 2, tap, sack, you can gain 3 life. Okay, well, how does the whole thing come together? Sam, Loyal Attendant. Partner with Frodo. At the beginning of your combat on your turn, create a food token. Activated abilities of foods you control cost 1 less to activate. Okay, I don't know what's going on here. Do you want to give the Draconic... It's +1/+1 haste. Sam reduces Draconic's Destiny to 0. To 0 on a food. Oh, is Gingerbread a food? Oh, I never knew that. No wonder you can sack it to gain 3 life. Yeah, wow. I knew you could sack Gingerbread for 3 life. I didn't know food was a creature type. Unbelievable. Infinite power. With infinite responsibility. Probably that Gingerbread gonna go run back and attack the wolf. Who's chasing who now? That's a crazy unique combo. I love it. All right, we got next up Lloyd. Thank you very much for the super chat. Perforos. Perforos. God of the Forge. There's actually a lot of Perforos cards. Plus mass token generator. Okay, come on. You gotta give like you have to give card names. Even more lethal with token doublers. You mean like Prophet getting Finale of Glory? Finale of Glory. Where X equals 10 is my favorite way. You got like on bad combos actually work. You can't be like, okay, get a token doubler, get an indestructible creature. Sometimes that's okay, but I prefer you get like a little specific. Food is an artifact type? Oh, interesting. Okay. Thank you very much for correcting me. Okay, Finale of Glory, white, X. Create X 2/2 white soldier creature tokens with vigilance as X is 10 or more. Also create X 4/4 white angel creature tokens with vigilance and flying. Perforos says, as long as you don't, forget that part. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Perforos deals 2 damage to each creature. So the idea is put out a bunch of tokens, as many possible, get the token doublers, and whenever you can get like, so I guess what is it called? What is 1 token doubler? I don't play with any of them. I don't play with that jank. I know, I can think of, there's one with wolves staring at each other, if I remember correctly. But the point is, I get it. You want to put in a bunch of creatures in play at once. They're all going to trigger Perforos, deal 2 damage to the opponent. Each one will deal to some damage. There we go. Double. Thank you. Doubling season. We need to be specific around here. This is a Naya combo. You got the green, you got a red, you also have the white. Okay, next up. Okay, let's freebie. Who should get a freebie here? Pedgeman, do you got one today? Okay, Morphon the Boundless. Fist of Suns. Maskwood Nexus. All creatures can be cast for free. Bad combo because at that point you should just play Omniscience. You should. But who cares? We want the bad combos. You may not have mana for Omniscience, but you have enough mana for all this other stuff. Morphon the Boundless. As Morphon the Boundless enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Choose whatever, because it's just going to match whatever you name with Maskwood Nexus. And the spells of the chosen type you cast cost Wooburg less to cast. Other creatures you control of the chosen type get +1/+1. Then we have Fist of the Suns, 3 mana. You may pay Wooburg rather than pay the mana cost for spells that you cast, which will be exactly Wooburg less. And then Maskwood Nexus. Creatures you control are every creature type. The same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't onto the battlefield. So can I name Cookie? What is the Ginger Brute? Going back to Ginger Brute. Golem. Damn, it's a golem. How is that thing a golem? Okay, I guess we name Golem. Because I want everything to be Ginger Brute creature type. I solidar with Ginger Brute. And all my cookies are for free. Free cookies! See the mental gymnastics I'm going through? Okay, we're going to go through just a bunch of... Now it's the super chat, basically, era of the show. Because there sometimes could be an infinite number of them. Vampiric Rites! Angel of Despair from Alpha Nerd. Vampiric Rites. Angel of Despair. Dreams of the Dead. Okay, so the angel apparently sacks to rights, draw and gain life. Dreams the angel back, sack it before upkeep, repeat. What? Okay, so we have a new... Oh, are you fixing the old combo? So there was the one with Dreams of Despair and Angel of Despair. And so now you're adding Vampiric Rites. Sack a creature, you gain 1 life and draw a card. So the idea is Angel sacks to Rites, draw and gain life. And it's not from the same ability. It's not getting exiled from this card. That return target white or black creature card from your graveyard to play. If this creature would leave play, remove it from the game instead. Doesn't it get exiled anyway? This creature gains cumulative upkeep 2. Oh, I guess it's on the stack. It gains this. It's like a trigger when it enters the battlefield. Does this work? So I think what you want to do is, like, if I understand correctly, you're going to bring Angel of Despair back with Dreams of the Dead. But I think if it gets sacrificed or goes anywhere from here, it just goes into Oblivion, even if you play Vampiric Rites. Unless this is a trigger that happens, but I don't see a... when it enters the battlefield, that creature gains cumulative upkeep too. I don't know if this works. It is a lot of despair. Can anyone confirm? Because I don't think it does. So the way I'm interpreting this is use Dreams of the Dead to bring your Angel of Despair back. Then even if you try to sack it with Vampiric Rites, it's gone. It's just gone because it has the ability, if the creature would leave play. Or hold on, let me read. Let's not read the ancient scripture. Return target white or black creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. The creature gains cumulative upkeep 2. Is gains like a trigger? Yeah, I don't think it works. This is a bad combo that fails. It's failed twice now. Yeah, it's not a trigger. Target that creature gains cumulative upkeep 2. If the creature would leave the battlefield, exile instead of putting it anywhere. And then it's just kablamo. Okay, bad combos that are bad. Bad combos that are still bad. Even with help. Okay, next super chat we've got from Awesome Swifter 11. Pact of the Titan. And the 12th Doctor. First time here live, by the way. Hi, Nikachu. Hello, Awesome Swifter. Welcome. The 12th Doctor? There we go. Okay, the 12th Doctor is a red-blue 3 generic 4/4 Time Lord Doctor. Now, the first time you cast from anywhere other than your hand each turn has Demonstrate. When you cast that spell, you may copy it. If you do, choose an opponent to also copy it. A copy of a permanent spell becomes a token. So, you copy it. Oh, so you're going to gift somebody else this poor Pact of the Titan, which says create a 4/4 red giant creature token. But at the beginning of your next upkeep, you pay 5 mana, one of them being red, and if you don't, you lose the game. Born of Fire, destined for battle. Also destined to cheese people out. Just send it to someone who doesn't have red mana, that's all. It doesn't work just like your water. I know, that's right. Well, no one gets that. Like, my water is turned off. I'm so happy my hair doesn't look that bad. I haven't washed my hair today. Also didn't really exercise or else I'd look terrible. Yeah, I gotta work. I'm living off of 1 bottle of water I got from the corner store. Okay, Algot, your super chat is Bob? This thing doesn't exist. That's B dot, is it B dot O dot B? Oh, this thing, yes, this is the Beeble cards. Oath of, okay, I'll humor it just because you super chatted. Oath of Teferi and Nurture. Somebody rules zeroed in, which Nurture? There's like 5 Nurture cards. None of them actually called Nurture. Okay, hold on, let's look at the first 2. Okay, well, I don't even know what the combo is. The number of loyalty count. Okay, +1. And the number of loyalty counters on Bob is equal to the number of Beebles you control. Okay, that's just great. +1. Up to X target Beebles can't be blocked this turn, where X is the number of cards in your hand. Can't be blocked. So you have to need a lot of cards. When Oath of Teferi enters the battlefield, exile another target permanent you control. Return to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. You may activate loyalty abilities of planeswalkers you control twice each turn rather than one. So how would you want to play this one twice? Up to X target. Like, this, using this twice is useless. And then we need the nurture card that goes with this. There's the battlefield, gain 3 life. Whenever player gains green spell, add green when you spend this mana. At the end of turn, if you control a creature with great fire. I have no idea. Sorry about it. This is not specific enough. Disqualified. So I'll tell you what. We're going to donate the super chat to Frank, Spiteful Sliver. Gotta be careful when you donate. You have to donate with, when you suggest combos, give me the exact name. Boros. And also sometimes give me some explanation how it works. Reckoner, if it's not completely obvious. Brash Taunter. Star of Extinction. Let's go with Blasphemous Act. We saw a Star of Extinction today. Blasphemous Act. What's a bad combo that actually works without Blasphemous Act? Blow up the board and fling to your opponent's face. I agree. Okay, Spiteful Sliver says, red 2 generic 2/2 Sliver. Sliver creatures you control have, whenever this creature is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target player or planeswalker. Foreshadowing the Blasphemous Act. Also, Boros Reckoner. Oh, did you mean Orbos Reckoner? So you're gonna have a bunch of these creatures out. Whenever Boros Reckoner is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target creature. I think this works great with the Spiteful Sliver. Because you could have a lot of slivers. It's like everybody has the Boros Reckoner ability. With Boros Reckoner, you can only have one Boros Reckoner on the battlefield. Or Brash Taunter. Whenever Brash Taunter is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target opponent. And then you Blasphemous Act. It's the big kablooey. They lose all their stuff. You keep some of your stuff, like Brash Taunter is indestructible, right? And they get smacked hard for like 1 billion damage. Especially if you have a lot of slivers. That could be a one-shot, one-kill death. Okay, next up, we've got the Prime Jaders. Ashok, Wicked Manipulator. Then we've got Bolus's Citadel. Necropotence? Not necessary, also banned. Necropotence is actually legal in Commander. This is mostly a Commander show. Even though I'm not much of a I'm not as good of a Commander player as the rest of you. Okay, Ashok, Wicked Manipulator. 5 mana, 5 loyalty. If you would pay life while your library has at least that many cards in it, exile that many cards from the top of your library instead. What? So if you pay life while your library has at least that many cards in it, exile... I don't understand the point of it. +1, look at the top 2 cards of your library. Exile one of them, put one in your hand. -2, create 2 1/1 Nightmares. -7, target player exiles the top X cards of their library, or X is the total mana value of cards you own in exile. Oh, so the idea is, I guess you want to exile your library? Maybe look at the top card of your library anytime. Maybe play the top card of your library. If you cast a spell this way, you can pay life equal to its converted mana cost rather than pay its mana cost. Sack 10 non-land permanents. Each opponent loses 10 life. I think this has something to do with exiling everything. So whenever you discard a card, exile a card from your graveyard, you skip your draw step, and you can pay 1 life to exile cards from the top of your from your library face down. Put that card into your hand at the beginning of the next end step. So how does this work? It's like if you would pay life while your library has at least that many cards in it, exile that many cards from the top of your library instead, and then you go to -7. Target player exiles top X cards of their library, where X is the total mana value of cards. So I think the idea is exile your own library, if I understand this correctly, and then you go for the -7 and exile their deck. That's the way I'm looking at it. That's the way I'm looking at it. I don't understand this in any other way. You gotta make that Simic Merfolk Commander deck, bro. Yeah, I got to. I'm still working on my mono blue one, though. Still working on mono blue. Okay, next we got Algot. Oh, no, we did that one. I didn't understand. I'm sorry, Algot. I didn't understand. Spectral Maniac with Archelos. Brine Elemental. And Vesuvian Shapeshifter. Okay, we got a blue-blue 3 generic clone. Enters the battlefield or is turned faced up. You may choose another target creature on the battlefield. If you do, it's a copy, except at the beginning of your upkeep, you may turn this creature face down. We also have the Brine Elemental. Whenever it's turned faced up, each opponent skips their next untap step. Can you do that? So can you, like, turn into Brine Elemental and then turn this thing face down and reface it up as a Brine Elemental? Does that work? And then Archelos. As long as Archelos Lagoon Mystic is tapped, other permanents enter the battlefield tapped. And as long as Archelos is untapped, other permanents enter the battlefield untapped. I have no idea what the point of this card is. As long as it's... Some assembly required. Instructions not clear. I understand these two parts. These two make a lot of sense to me. This one doesn't. Does anyone get this? Where's Spectral Maniac? Spectral Maniac, you explain yourself here. All your opponent's things come in tapped and never untapped, do they? As long as Archelos Lagoon Mystic is tapped, other permanents enter the battlefield tapped. As long as Archelos is untapped, other permanents enter the battlefield untapped. But how is it permanent? It's turns face out, each opponent skips their next untap step. Isn't this just good enough? Oh, they skip their untap step. Each opponent, but it's only the opponents skip their. So the idea is you're going to tap this thing every turn and they never get to. I guess you're going to tap this thing every turn. Or sorry, you're going to tap this card every turn and they'll never get the opportunity to untap their stuff. I guess? And everything new comes into play tapped. I guess that's the synergy. It's hard to see. That's one of those combos I gotta see actually happen over the board. You just have to make sure Archelos is always tapped at the end of your turn. Okay, attacking with it. You gotta be careful. Sometimes there's no good attack though. Spectral Maniac. Sometimes there's no good attack. Platonic Liquid with the super chat. Thank you so much. Realm Breaker. The Invasion Tree, and also Maskwood Nexus. Wow, Maskwood, a 2-card combo with Maskwood Nexus? I never thought I'd see the day. Usually people suggest 10-card combos with that thing. Okay, this is creatures control are every creature type. Same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. Also pay 3, tap. Create a 2/2 blue shapeshifter creature token with Changeling. The Realm Breaker, though, the Invasion Tree. Never heard of a tree invading. It's a 3-mana legendary artifact. Pay 2, tap. Target opponent mills 3 cards. Put a land card from their graveyard onto the battlefield tapped under your control. It gains. If this land would leave the battlefield, exile it instead of putting it anywhere else. But then we have the ability 10 mana. Tap, sacrifice Realm Breaker. The Invasion Tree. Search your library for any number of Praetor cards. Put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle. So you can either, I mean, it doesn't matter. I guess you name everything Praetor in your deck. With Maskwood Nexus, you activate this and you put them all on the battlefield, and all of a sudden your opponents are not happy about that.
Oh God, please, no.
They're wetting the bed. Okay, we have another super chat. We got the awesome Swifter coming back strong. Okay, this is the Nira Wild Mage. And also the River Song. Oh, 2 pretty newish cards. All right, 3 mana for a 2/2. Meet in reverse. You draw cards from the bottom of your library rather than the top. Spoilers! Spoiler alert. Whenever an opponent scries, surveils, or searches their library for a +1/+1, put a +1/+1 counter on River Song. Then River Song deals damage to that player equal to its power. Oh my goodness. Every single time I search, surveil, I'm getting smacked in the face over here. That'll learn me to surveil around in these parts. Then Nira Wild Mage is a 6-mana 2/7 that says, whenever you cast a spell, you may put it on the bottom of its owner's library. If you do reveal cards on the top of your library until you reveal a non-land card, you may cast that card without paying its mana cost, then put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. This ability triggers only once each turn. Hold on, how does this work? So I think the idea is you want to cast stuff from the bottom of your library. You draw cards from the bottom of your library rather than the top. But like the cards you have on the bottom are random whenever an opponent scries. So draw cards from the bottom then the top. But when you cast a spell, you're basically cascading, right? If you reveal cards on the top of your library, until you reveal a non-land card, and then the rest go on the bottom of your library in a random order. I actually don't know how this works. You have to explain to us. Because afterwards, or do you get to choose what order? Hold on, you may put it on the bottom. You may put it on the bottom of its owner's library. If you do, yeah, it has to go on the bottom of the library first. Then you reveal cards. Then all those cards are random, and then so the cards that you draw are like just as good as drawing from the top of your deck. I do not see the benefit. We're just drawing from the bottom than the top, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, maybe there'll be some explanation later. But until then, I will take a look at some more bad combos from Substab. We've got Peregrine Took. Experimental Confectioner. And Knight of the Sweet Revenge. I am always a person of revenge. Okay, Awesome Swifter says, I think I misread. Alright, we got 2 combos that don't actually work today. 2 combos. Don't worry, we're trying. This is not the first time we've disqualified combos on the show before. It happens. Believe me, I get more flack in my comment section than the rest of you guys do. Okay, Knight of Sweet Revenge. It's a green 3 generic enchantment. Enters the battlefield, create a food token. Foods you have tap for green. And also 5 mana, sack it. Creatures you control get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of foods you control. Activate only as a sorcery. It's like an overrun. Now, Experimental Confectioner. 3 mana, 2/3 human peasant. With... what's it called? When it enters the battlefield, create a food token. Whenever you sacrifice a food, create a 1/1 black rat creature token with this creature can't be blocked. So we sack food, we create rats. I don't understand the purpose of this thing. But then maybe it'll all come together with Peregrine Took. It's a 3 mana 2/3. If 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, those tokens plus an additional food token are created instead. Sacrifice 3 foods, draw a card. Okay, so how does this all come together? Comes into play, we get a food, so we get 2 food instead of 1. Then whenever we sack a food, create a token. With this creature can't be blocked. So we sack the food, and every single time we make a token, we make a food, right? Whenever 1 or more tokens are created under your control, those tokens plus additional food. So we sack the food to make a rat, which comes with another rat and a token, if I understand correctly. And then the last piece, foods you control. I guess you just want to get a bunch of foods in play and a bunch of rats, and then you just buff up the rats to kill them. When you create the rat, you create a food with it. Yeah, I understand. I understand. You have a lot of work to do, and you need a lot of mana. You got to be cracking them foods to be making them rats, to be making them foods, because you better... Oh, that's very cute. The rat is around with making the dessert here. Oh, is it infinite food and rats? Whenever you sack a food, create a 1/1 rat. No. Okay, so you sack a food, you get a 1/1 rat token with this creature can't be blocked. And then when you get the rat token, Peregrine Took says, okay, you get a second rat token, but then also you get to create a food. And that's it, right? So if 1 or more tokens will be created under your control, those tokens plus an additional food token are created instead. Oh, or actually you don't get a second rat. You only get 1 rat and a food in addition. Food is become land. Ooh, hold on. Foods you control, enter the battlefield, create a food token. So this also makes 2 food tokens. Foods you control have tap out of green. Sack it. Number of foods. I don't see anything else. You sack 3 foods with Took so you can keep doing it. Okay. Sacrifice 3 foods, draw a card. How does that make more food? It says sack 3 foods for free, so? What am I missing here? Like, I don't get it. If 1 or more tokens, you sacrifice 3 foods, draw a card. Does it? Nothing here says when you draw a card, you get other additional value. Elliot's like, I've died to this combo. I know it works. Sack 3 foods, draw a card. How does that... Okay, then what? What's the next step? Okay, we have 3 foods in play. Big deal. Whenever you get a rat, you get a food. Yeah, that's fine. I understand that. And then you draw a card. Okay, you sack 3 foods. You get 3 rats. Whenever you sack... Oh, there we go. Thank you very much, Pedgeman. You have explained it to me. So whenever we sack the food, we create a rat. And every single time we create a rat, for each 3 foods, we get more tokens, which we can sack for more food. All right, and then draw infinite cards. That's wild. And then we kill them with this thing. Okay. I approve. That is a bad combo that actually works. This is one of those combos, each card has a lot of words on it. I'd appreciate some explanations here. Here, Elliot's on the case. The foods make rats. The rats make food. The foods make rats, and the rats make food. But the key piece is that sacking food creates rats. For whatever reason. Alright, Feldermoose with Zask. Skittering Swarmlord. Oh no, that's the whole name. Okay, Verdant Succession. I'm sometimes confused by the apostrophe. And any insect with more than 1 power. Come on! We already went over this. You gotta be specific. Give me an insect that has more than 1 power. I don't know, Plague Stinger? Does that have more than 1 power? I don't know any. Okay, Altar of Dementia. I know that card. No, Altar of Dementia. Okay. Scoot Swarm does not have... Does that have more than 1 power? I thought it has 1. It only has 1. Hornet Queen. Okay, that one has more than 1 power. Yeah, that works. That's a 2/2. It's a little expensive. It's a little expensive, but it'll work. Okay. We have our Hornet Queen, which is an insect that's a 2/2. Apparently the stats don't matter. Ultra of Dementia. Sack a creature. Target player puts the top cards that they're equal to the sack power on top of their... Sack a creature. Target player puts a number of cards equal to the sacrifice power from the top of their library into their graveyard. We also have Verdant Succession. It's a green 4 generic enchantment. Whenever a green non-token creature is put into a graveyard from play, that creature's controller may search his or her library for a card with the same name as that creature and put it into play. If they do, they shuffle their library. Whenever a green non-token creature is put into a graveyard, so I guess that's going to be our Hornet Queen. And then Zask, Skittering Swarmlord. You may play lands and cast insect spells from your graveyard. Whenever another insect you control dies, which is our queen. Our queen! Put it on the bottom of its owner's library, then mill 2 cards. How does that work? Okay, so... we sack our queen, but it goes on the bottom of our library. Whenever green non-token creatures put into a graveyard from play, that controller may search their library for a card with the same name as that creature. Oh, okay, we want it to be going on the bottom of the library so that we can get it over and over again. How is this really infinite, though? Because our queen is expensive. Like, this is not a cheap card. And how do we keep casting it for nothing? You may play lands and insect spells from your graveyard. I guess the idea is, like, if you have 7 mana, you can do it over and over again. So you sack your queen. You sack the queen. It'll go back into your deck, and then you look for it again, and then boom, it's back into your hand. That's the best. That's the closest I can get to this combo. It is our queen. Clicks tongue. That's the best I can interpret this combo. Okay, Awesome Swifter coming in for an awesome comeback. We've got wait to look into it. It does work. Okay, we have the Time Stream Navigator. Okay, now we're going to bring in the River Song again. River Song. And now we have Nira. You bottom deck the spell to polymorph and it then cast it next turn. Was that another card we need to add? Do we need to add polymorph? Okay, Time Stream Navigator. How does this fix it? It is a send card. Pay 4. Put Time Stream Navigator on the bottom of its owner's library. Take an extra turn after this one. Activate only if you have the City's Blessing. Let's assume you have the City's Blessing. And what happens is, so this thing's on the bottom. You draw cards from the bottom of your library rather than the top. Okay, so now you have infinite... Okay, that by these two themselves is a combo. It's a pretty cool combo. So you put this on the bottom of your library, and you'll... Oh, no, you don't continuously get extra turns, because this says Summoning Sickness. Okay, but I see half this thing working. Then whenever you cast a spell, you may put it on the bottom of its owner's library. If you do, reveal cards on the top of your library until you reveal a non-land card. You may cast the card without paying its mana cost. Okay, come on. How does this work now? Then put it on the bottom of then put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. You want to use polymorph somehow? This destroys creatures, and then you put creatures into play. I don't know how this thing works. This just messes it up. Just add something that gives it haste instead. Yeah, I think, yeah, Greaves equips for 0. So, like, a better, cleaner combo would just be River Song, Time Stream Navigator, and then Lightning Greaves. We're going to help your combo here. Lightning Greaves. Which says, equip creature has haste and shroud. So you would get infinite turns off of this. Although you're basically drawing the exact same card every turn. I don't know how to progress your board state. So you basically have to be winning from here. Because you basically don't get to draw a card for the rest of the game. Because you're perpetually drawing the Time Stream Navigator. I will say this much. You can't have... What was that other card? You can't have that card that cascades and puts the rest of the cards shuffled on the bottom of your library. Because those are random cards. It messes up all your combos. But anyway, the Coffee Crew has come in to save the combo. This is one way to sort of make this bad combo actually work. You'd run out of cards though, right? Well, as is, you would actually not draw anything, right? You draw cards from the bottom of your library instead of the top, and you would just draw Time Stream Navigator every single turn. You would actually never draw anything else. Oh no, hold on. The Monarch makes you draw a card, right? If you are if you have the City's Blessing, what is it? If you control 10 or more permanents, you get the City's Blessing for the rest of the game. That's like you draw a card. I can't remember what the City's Blessing does. Maybe it does actually draw you an extra card. You get your second card with the other card. No, but the other card messes up the bottom of your library. That's the problem. Like, it constantly messes up the bottom of your library. Anyway, I'm going to move on. We got King Ginger Super Chat. Thank you very much, King Ginger. Grenzo Dungeon Warden. Epitaph Golem. And Workhorse. Here's 3 cards I've never heard of. We have Workhorse. It is literally a horse. It's off to work. It's a 6 mana 0/0. Comes into play with 4+1/+1 counters. Remove a counter from Workhorse. Add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool. Play its ability as a mana source. This horse gives mana. We're milking the horse for mana. It can milk for 4 manas. 4 jars of milk. Okay, Epitaph Golem. It's a 5 mana 3/5 golem. Pay 2. Put target card from your graveyard on the bottom of your library. And then the last one, Grenzo Dungeon Warden. This is a red-black X 2/2 Goblin Rogue. Enters the battlefield with X+1/+1 counters on it. Pay 2. Put the bottom card of your library into your graveyard. If it's a creature card with power less than or equal to Grenzo's power, put onto the battlefield. Oh, how does this work? Okay, so what you're doing is you're going to add 4 mana with your Workhorse and use, or I guess 3 mana. Sorry, you have to use 3 mana because you can't let the Workhorse die. So 3 mana, pay 2 to put it on the bottom of your, the card from your, oh no, you want it to die. Okay, forget it. Add 4 mana, let the thing die. Pay 2, put the Workhorse back on the bottom of your library. Then Grenzo says you can pay the extra 2. Is this going nowhere? It's just infinite into ETBs because we can only add at most 4 mana. Put the bottom card of your library put the bottom card of your library into your graveyard. If it's a creature card with power less than or equal to Grenzo's power, put it onto the battlefield. So then we eventually get... This is so weird. Workhouse goes from graveyard to library, from library to graveyard back to battlefield. This horse has been places. It's been everywhere. And it's working hard. It comes into play with more counters, damn it. And its only purpose is to keep going back and forth, because that's as much mana as we can make around here. Okay. The Prime Jaders. With Vati Ildal and Tree of Perdition. And Tree of Perdition. Cool. Okay, Vati Ildal is a green, black, 2 generic, 3/3 human warrior with tap. Until end of turn, target creature has base power 1 or base toughness 1, one or the other. And then Tree of Perdition says, Defender, tap, exchange target opponent's life total with Tree of Perdition's toughness. Oh, goodness. So we're going to make the Tree of Perdition have 1 toughness. Your opponent's going to be at 1 life. Better be careful at that 1 life. It's very fragile. Some people like living dangerously, though. Francis, $1. What is your thing? Usually the super chats work better when you spend $2 or more. Then you actually get to write words with your super chat. Oh, wait a second for this. Nothing is cast. Were you trying to say the other one? No storm noting? Oh, some people were trying to say... No, the horse combo, it's just infinite ETBs as far as I'm concerned. So you infinitely get this workhorse to enter the battlefield, and then so you have, like... If you have an enter the battlefield effect like Pandemonium, you could win the game like that. Okay, Francis. Okay, you gave me this big combo for $1? Alright, you got it. Okay, Pilla Pala. Hold on, what is this? Pilla Pala Grand Architect Urza? It's like a crappy competitive combo. It's Pili Pala. Pili Pala, Grand Architect. I don't know what Urza has anything to do with this. Urza, High Lord Artificer. Turn Pili Pala into blue, tap for 2. Pay to untap Pili Pala. Pay to untap Pili, infinite mana. Use Urza ability to exile a library and cast cards without paying mana. Ah, nice. Okay, so the combo, Pili Pala is this weird combo of paying to and untapping it to add 1 mana of a color, and the idea is you turn it blue with Grand Architect. Pay a blue, an artifact becomes blue, and then when you untap blue, tap. Oh, we're not done yet. We still got super chats to get through. The show ends with the super chats end. Okay, you untap the thing. You untap your Pili Pala, add 2 colorless mana. Now with that colorless mana, it makes infinite mana. So you tap, and you can even tap the Pili Pala for mana with Urza, and then there's the ability on Urza. Pay 5, shuffle your library, then exile the top card. Until end of turn, you may play that card without paying its mana cost. So you basically can cast your entire deck right on the spot. Not that bad at all. Okay, Mimito, thank you very much for your super chat. Forced Fruition and Shield Dread. Oh my god. Shieldred the Apocalypse. So we all know Forced Fruition. It's a 6 mana enchantment. If an opponent plays a spell, they have to draw 7 cards. Well, there's going to be a bit of a cost to drawing 7 cards, because whenever they do, the opponent whenever they draw a card, they lose 2 life. So what is it, 7 cards? They lose 14 life every single time they play a spell. Be careful what you cast, because it could be your last. Okay, we got Fledder Moose with a big super chat. Orvar the Allform. And Peregrine Drake. And Mind Games. Also, Verdant Succession does put onto the battlefield, so you don't need to recast your insect. Oh, okay, thank you for letting me know. Okay, Mind Games, a blue instant with buyback of 3 mana. Tap target artifact, creature, or land. Peregrine Drake says, when it enters the battlefield, untap up to 5 lands. So, it's free. And then Orivar the Old Form says, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, if it targets one or more other permanents you control, create a token that's a copy of those permanents. When a spell or ability an opponent controls causes you to discard a card, create a token that's a copy of target permanent. Oh my goodness. So basically, you want to copy your Peregrine Drake. It's going to enter the battlefield. You're going to untap 5 lands, which allows you to play your Mind Games again to target the Peregrine Drake. To untap 5 lands, you just have infinite Peregrine Drakes and infinite Mind Games. Potentially infinite mana as well. You get a lot of infinites here. And it's all mono blue. This is actually one of the lesser of the jank combos we've seen today. Okay, we got Prime Jaders. Hive Mind and one of the Pact spells. Or Final Fortune. Okay, we have to do Final Fortune because the Pact spells, that's a good combo that actually works. We are only specializing in bad combos around here. Final Fortune. Skipping the end step with Sundial the Infant or, Final Fortune. And then we gotta use Sundial. I like it. Okay, so the deal is this. We've got Hive Mind. You play an instant or sorcery, everyone gets a copy. But then we have Final Fortune, red, instant. Take an extra turn after this one. At the end of that turn, you'll lose the game. So how are we going to save ourselves? We got to make sure that that turn never ends. Well, it never gets to the end step. Hold on, what does it say? It's at the beginning of that turn's end step, you lose the game. That's the actual Oracle text. Now, we can cheat our end step by using the Sundial, pay 2, and then the activated ability of 1 tap. End the turn. Activate this ability only during your turn. So now your opponents get like 2 turns to like do something. What do you, like, everyone's gonna gang up on you. They're gonna literally spend 6 turns trying to kill you before, like, you actually win the game. No, this is a bit jank. This one's awkward, because you give your opponents turns. A lot of turns. Tons of turns. Alright. Okay, now with that, those are our bad combos that actually work. Thank you so much for joining me today. We do this show weekdays, 11 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. But remember, from December 20th to January 5th, we're also doing it at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So be there or be square. With the exception of Christmas. I won't be there on 8 p.m. on Christmas. Thanks to everyone who supports the show. If you're a patron on Patreon, a member on YouTube, or use Super Chat to become part of the show, make Coffee and MTG what it is. But we also got to thank everyone who is here in the morning. Like Toads, Abyssal Kismet, Ryan C. Awesome Swifter, Pedgeman, some Pleb, Toads, Jess, we've got Christopher B, of course. Christopher B is always here. Oh, I'm getting locked up. Nick B, Toilet Duck, Mimito, Francis C, we got Prime Jaders, Abzo, Paul McDonald, Mobile Tech, Kankusha, John. We got Lightning Medic, Stanel, can't even fly. Because you guys are the show. So as usual, my coffee crew, keep bringing up them coffees, and we'll keep bringing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.